Hello, and welcome to the third podcast for Team Falling. I'm your host, Falling Blame, and today I have a special guest. He's been one of my old clanmates from Reezy and Fault. It's Falling Magic. Say what's up.
What's
Alright, Magic, I have something to ask you. How did you get into gaming?
how did I get into gaming? Well, honestly, I think it's been just like a lifelong journey. I started back with Ratchet and Clank and the PS2 and Pokemon Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire with the Game Boy Advanced SP.
I remember
And then it's
those.
kind of evolved into, I guess, somewhat of like a life obsession, I guess, because I play way too many video games, mainly Call of Duty. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah,
I see. I agree. I did start way back too, but you know, times change. What was the first ever Call of Duty you ever touched, ever played in your life?
oh, maybe Call of Duty 2.
Oh, like way back, way back?
Parents never let me buy Call of Duty until Modern Warfare, COD 4. So I'm really excited for the Modern Warfare remastered coming out.
Hmm.
But I would go over to friends' houses, and I remember playing like COD 2 and COD 3 and stuff like that. And I always remembered they'd be pretty fun. So that's my first one would have to be Call of Duty 2. Never owned one until Modern Warfare 1 though.
What made your parents like stop buying? Like, what made them like not want you to buy it? Is because of the violence or like what?
Honestly, yeah. I think it's because of the violence, but I mean, I don't know really. Again, we were able to play it at friends' houses. They're like, you can play it at friends' houses, but we just don't want to have you guys like have it, I guess. So I never bought one. And then for whatever reason, I guess they decided to change their mind when Modern Warfare came out, and I'm happy about that because it's kind of where I've taken it now is kind of cool.
Oh, I see. So they were kind of like I could understand because they were probably worried about how violence gets to like little kids and stuff. But yeah, I understand because like you're when how old were you when they actually let you buy Modern Warfare?
That's a good question. Honestly, don't know. Let me think.
Like 12, 13?
Probably around there.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because like if
I
you were
I honestly
younger,
don't. I honestly don't remember. It's been so long. Okay, I can easily figure this out. Let's see. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It came out in 2007. Actually, hold on. Okay, so my first Call of Duty that I first got it in 2009. Um, which means I was around 12 to 13 when I first got Call of Duty.
all right, I see. But when you first got Call of Duty, were you more into the sniping side or were you more into like kind of just using guns, fooling around kind of thing?
Oh, I was trash at Call of Duty. I had my cousin come over one time from college, and he brought Modern Warfare 2 over, and I was so bad. I was like actually ridiculously just terrible at the game. So I kind of just played like anything that I could to just try and get kills. I mean, I never used C4s and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I'd use like the AR. I basically used those to try and just get kills because I was so bad.
So When did you get into the sniping side of Call of Duty? Because I know before you were probably just fooling around, but when did you actually start to get serious on clans and sniping and stuff?
So I first started getting really serious into Call of Duty in Black Ops 2.
Hmm.
Um, that's when I really started all the sniping stuff. I
Hmm.
know back in Modern Warfare 2, I had a friend who was amazing at sniping. I actually like thinking back, if I kind of picked up on that and played with him a lot and actually tried sniping, I could have actually been really good. And with the community being very small, it would have been easier for me to get into really big teams and whatnot. But that didn't happen because I didn't really pick up on the whole sniping side.
Hmm.
But Modern Warfare 3, I bought the hardened edition of it, and that came with all like the Call of Duty Elite, which tracked all your stats and all that stuff. So that's when I really started getting into Call of Duty.
Hmm.
And then Black Ops 2, I really started getting into the sniping scene. I saw a few YouTubers on doing it and whatnot, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's so sick," but I can't really do it. And then one day, I'm in the middle of a hard point game, decide to use a sniper, and I hit the worst 360 I've ever hit in my life,
Hmm.
and it connected, and it was literally the biggest barrel stuff. But from that moment, I realized like I can actually do this stuff, and
You
that's when I
enjoyed
really
it, kind of
started
thing, right?
sniping. Yeah, 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 yeah. So then I really started just going in and, actually trying to learn how to snipe, all the quick scoping, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And, after hours and hundreds of hours of training and whatnot, I got decent at it.
Now, here's a question I really want to know. Really, reason why is that I've known you since Reezy, and
Hmm.
I've really wanted to know this, but what was your first clan you've ever joined? It can be like even a clan your friends made up, but what was your first clan that you joined, and what was a serious clan that you joined that you started to pick up?
Um, the first clan I ever joined was Reezy. I always kind of just did my own thing.
Hmm.
Played free for all, just tried to go and search and destroy, finding people. Um, And so, like, once I started going to search and destroy, you kind of find people. And I met John, that legend over there. So, yeah, started playing with him more and then found other people that he knew and whatnot. And then we kind of just became a thing.
Hmm. Um, how did you feel when you saw Reezy kind of pick up? Because I remember um, John talking to me when Reezy was very low, and then it started to pick up because it got 300 subscribers or so, or 350, I believe. How did you feel when you saw that pick up? Did you get momentum to keep going, or did you like saw that no one was participating in the clan and you kind of just kind of gave up too, lost kind of momentum towards it?
I mean, I thought it was great. I always love seeing that stuff and whatnot, and just seeing everybody grow.
Hmm.
That's kind of like my goal with everything is, not only to help myself grow, but to help other people. Because, I'm not the best. I know there are a lot of people who are better than me and whatnot, and there are people who are my skill level too. And I just love seeing them also be able to grow and kind of just like get bigger and whatnot. Because, some people really put time into videos and really put time into learning the game and whatnot, but they don't really get the recognition that they deserve.
All right, that was very good. Um, who was the first ever sniper person you watched? Now, I know there's a lot of them out there in the like sniper community right now, but what was the
Hmm.
first person you've ever watched and started to be like, yeah, I like this guy. I want to be like him. Who
Um,
was it?
I can't remember exactly the first, but I remember three. I know three. Pomage, Rain, and Temper. So they were like the three that I, kind of like watched and whatever, and was just like, they're doing all this really cool stuff and they're hitting amazing clips. Like, that's something that I could do.
How did you feel about Reezy disbanding and then Fault becoming something. How'd you feel about that?
Um, I mean, it was kind of interesting because it was just kind of like I felt like we were going into the same thing. It was like we were basically just changing the name and that was it. Everybody was still the same and whatnot. So I was kind of just like, I don't know, but it was kind of difficult because I was kind of torn in between something that, I helped build and all that stuff and kind of became a
Mm,
part of. And then like, basically everybody being like, "Oh, we don't want to do this anymore. Let's make our own thing." And I was kind of just like, "Why are we doing this?" in a sense.
mm-hmm.
But I after everybody kind of just like went over, I did the same.
What do you see in Falling in the future?
I mean, I definitely think we could do really well. I know, especially for me, like I need to start editing more stuff and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I definitely think depending on I don't know exactly our Halo team that well. Um, but if they keep doing their thing and they start winning and whatnot, then I think that could really help boost our team. And then once Call of Duty starts going, we find more people and we get people who actually care and who want to like pursue stuff like this. Then I think we could do really well.
All right, it's really good. Um, Here's the thing about the Call of Duty Pro side of things. I know you kind of keep up with the stuff. How do you feel about NV winning the tournament? I think it was the Call of
So
Duty champs, I believe.
it was Call of Duty XP, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel
So
about them?
it was definitely interesting. I mean, I love Optic. I've been an Optic fan since like Modern Warfare 3. So to really kind of see them go down in seventh place was very difficult. I was really disappointed because, I'm just a huge Optic fan. It's like, having your team lose the World Series in a sense,
Oh yeah,
or,
yeah.
the Super Bowl. It's like, it's the same thing for me. So it was really hard to see Optic go down like that. FaZe also did the same, so I was disappointed about that. But I do think Envy really deserve it. They did really well. And even at, MLG Orlando, I actually went down and got a chance to watch them live. And, they did really well against Optic. So I knew they were going to be a very good team. Well, I mean, I knew they were a very good team anyway. But seeing what they did at Orlando, I really thought that they were a contender for the first place spot. And now that the tournament's over, they got first place. So I'm happy for them. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I saw Optic get really low. They did like end up getting knocked out pretty quick.
Yeah, they got seventh place.
Yeah, seventh place is, it's not bad. It's still something out of all the teams that were competing to get into like the semifinals and stuff. It's not bad, but it's still kind of a
It's
little
not
bit.
good.
It's still kind of not good. It's kind of
Yeah.
disappointing to see Optic because Optic is really like a high team that's expected to do really good in the tournament.
They were the number one team
Hmm.
going into the tournament.
Yeah, and they came out in seventh place, which is pretty bad if you kind of really look at it, and if all their fans looking at them coming in seventh place would be really like a tragedy to them. But I'm glad for Envy. They do deserve the win. They do have really good players, and we will see more in the future from them. I like that because
Yeah.
Optic is a team that doesn't give up. Like they don't. They'll go back into a tournament with like the exact same motives from the last tournament, but
hmm
you know, but we'll see that soon. How do you feel about Infinite Warfare?
Okay, so it's an interesting question because when I first saw Infinite Warfare, the first trailer of it was terrible. Like I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, this game is stupid. Like they're adding so much stuff. And when I was watching the live stream, I was on a call with my parents and I was like, yeah, I'm sitting here just waiting for the Call of Duty release, and for them to like show some gameplays and stuff like that. And while I was saying that, they were actually playing the Call of Duty trailer, and uh, the only way I like actually noticed it was because of some of the weapons. Because, Call of Duty, you can kind of like just see how the weapons are, that you know that it's Call of Duty.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, oh, they're playing it right now. But I was like, there's all like almost everybody's a robot. It's in space. Like, what is this? So I really wasn't a fan of it. And then going to now where they showed the campaign, I was still kind of iffy. But the multiplayer trailer was awful. Have to say it was awful. The gameplay of people like Pomage and kind of like the people who got to play it at XP and whatnot, those gameplays make the game look fun, but the actual trailer itself makes the game look terrible. Some of the things that they just showed and whatnot, it just doesn't look good. Like I feel like there are certain parts in the game where I don't know if I just like them or dislike, or I just don't, dislike them or whatnot.
Hmm.
But yeah, that trailer, I was like, this isn't Call of Duty. This is stupid. And then we get over to where we can actually see some people playing it like Pomage, and the game actually looks really fun. And it's just one of those things where it's like, hopefully when I get it, I bought the Legacy Pro Edition. I want to get that Modern Warfare remastered.
Hmm.
And I also want to get the Steelbook case because I try and do that every year. But it'll be interesting to see actually how the game plays out. I've heard it plays a lot like Black Ops 3, which is cool. The movement's like Black Ops 3, except I believe a little bit scaled down, which is really nice because I didn't hate the Black Ops 3 movement. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was just kind of like it was there. If you hit clips with the movement, it was really sick. But other than that, I was just like, I'm not a fan. Usually the people are wall running and they kill me. So it's kind of just like, really. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Infinite Warfare actually plays out.
Yeah, the trailer didn't really grab my attention
No, it was
at
awful.
all. I kind of looked at it and just went like, that didn't seem fun. It just seems they're trying too hard. But um, mixed reviews on it. A lot of people are telling that they're not going to like it because it looks like another Ghost. So they think it's gonna be like Ghost. It has the same graphics as Ghost. Are you on the positive or negative, or are you like a little bit in the middle, saying yes, saying no? You know, it's hard for you to like kind of like say it, but what would you be in that?
Um, I mean, I will say the beginning of Ghosts I really hated, for the sole purpose of the spawns and how many clips I could have hit, but I either get split or I get died because of the damage was so high in every gun, that you could basically be two shot by any weapon and die immediately. So that was annoying. But other than that, I think Ghost was a good game again, other than the spawns. Does it look like Ghosts? I honestly didn't like when I look at it, I don't think it looks like Ghosts. Um, so I'm happy about that. Not that ghosts look bad, but some of the white balancing and stuff like that could have really been changed so that it, actually kind of looks better. I think that was kind of like the Call of Duty that I wasn't really a fan of and how they chose like the colors and whatnot.
Hmm.
But for gameplay wise, like I don't care. I do think Infinite Warfare is going to be different than Ghosts, and if they actually have the spawns where it's not like Ghosts and it's like a normal Call of Duty where people won't spawn behind you or in front of you or stuff like that, then I think it'll be a good game.
All right, I see. I see. In Infinite Warfare, it's based a lot in the future. Since like Black Ops 3, it's always, or Advanced Warfare actually, my bad. Since Advanced Warfare, it's always been in the future with exo jumping and the boosts and like the sliding and stuff and the specialists. How do you feel about that? Do you really want like the past come back where you just normally run around and shoot, no specialists, just normal guns and stuff? Or do you
I
kind
mean,
of like it?
there's a pro and there's a con to everything. The pro being that there's a lot of specialists to be able to use. So for you to be able to hit a clip or something like that using all the different specialists, I think it really adds variety and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it is kind of annoying when you have somebody who, you're about to hit the fourth guy for the quad or whatnot, and, he uses a specialist to kill you. And that's really annoying. That's like one of the worst feelings is when you get shot down by the war machine or, a scythe or something like that where it's just kind of like really. I mean, I've been on 28 kill streaks or 28 29 kill streaks almost at the nuclear, and I was tapped by the purifier and I died, and that was the way I died. It's like, so, at that point, it's really frustrating. But I think the specialists do add a good variety to the game. There's a lot of different things you can do with them. So just to be able to have all that variety and whatnot, I think it's good. There are some things where I'm not like a huge fan of for specialists, but again, hopefully Infinite Warfare has more balanced ones, kind of like Black Ops 3 did. I think
Hmm.
Black Ops 3 actually did a very good job with the specialists. Again, I mean, there are things that you're kind of just sitting there like, okay, this is annoying or whatnot. But for the majority of it, I think, specialists really was a great addition to the game.
All right, all right. Um, how do you feel about? I know you're not really into the zombies for anything. I know you probably play it a couple times, enjoy it playing with
Mhm.
friends. But how do you feel about the Infinite Warfare zombies? I know they leaked it out and it looks a little bit different from
Yeah.
normal.
So, I don't actually completely remember the zombies trailer. I just remember it had the intervention in it, and I freaked out a little bit because it's the intervention. Come on,
Who
we're
wouldn't freak out?
snipers here.
Who wouldn't?
But yeah, I think the zombies is, I saw like kind of like the color and the style that they're going. I think it'll be pretty cool. I have a lot of friends who have it for Xbox, who almost they play a ton of zombies, so they're buying it for the PlayStation 4 now, and they're gonna be able to play with me, and so I'll probably play a lot more zombies with them because they like playing zombies and doing all the Easter eggs and just kind of stuff like that. So I'll probably play a lot more zombies. The only thing that we're hoping for is that they don't have exosuits. The Advanced Warfare zombies, uh, my friend was saying that it was terrible and that he hated it because of the exosuits. So I'm really hoping that they don't have exosuits, but looking at the game and looking at the trailers and whatnot, I don't remember them being able to have like crazy movement or have exo suits. So, I think we're good on that part. So it'll be interesting how they actually do the zombies. Because I believe this is Infinite Warfare's first zombies, because it's always been Treyarch. So it'll be interesting to see how they pull off zombies.
All right, I see. Um, Going back to Black Ops 3, there's a lot of things going around about the zombies for Black Ops 3. I don't know if you really like played it, but according to a lot of people, the last map pack for Black Ops 3 was apparently the last zombies they did for the four characters that always played in every zombies map. I think it was like Rick Toffin, Dimitri, I don't know, all those people. It's like
Hmm.
apparently the last one. Like, how do you feel about that? Are you gonna be happy to see new people, or do you kind of just want to see more of the originals?
I've played zombies maybe twice in Black Ops 3, and that was with you
Hmm.
when the game first came out. So, I honestly can't say that I really care. I mean, I know people are zombie fanatics, and they'll probably kill me for saying that. But again, it's one of those things where change is something that you should try. So if they do make new characters, it'll add like a whole new aspect, and they could do some new things with the game that they might not have earlier because of the characters. So it'll just be, I mean, it'll just be interesting to see how the characters actually what they do with it. If they change it, great. If they don't change it, it's still cool. I mean, it doesn't really affect me, so I don't really care that much. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they actually do.
All right, let's see. Um, let's talk about a little bit more about your channel. I believe it was Falling Magic or Magic MZW1.
Yep.
Going back to your old videos, I believe you did a lot of CubeCraft in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Cube World.
Cube World, my bad. But how did you feel about making that content and releasing to people and them actually liking it? Because I know you have 200 subscribers,
Mm-hmm.
and like, how do you feel about making those videos and getting to the point of 200 subscribers?
Um, well, I first started off doing Minecraft videos, and they're the worst thing on the face of the earth. They're probably the worst videos ever created on YouTube. They're just extremely bad to watch. They're just cringy. They're terrible. Okay, don't actually watch them. I'm saving your soul here. Okay, so they're not good. So but that really helped me actually start because everybody starts somewhere. So that's why I keep them up. It's not just because, oh man, they're terrible videos and I just want to keep the views on them. It's like, that's where I started. You can go back on my channel and see how bad I actually was and then compare it to what I am now. So those were the Minecraft videos, and I'd love to make more. I actually get massive headaches when I play single player games, and that includes Minecraft. After a while, I get pretty bad headaches, so I don't play many single player games. Kind of crazy. I know there's some issue with me. I have no idea. But Cube World, I loved Cube World. So Cube World is one of those games where it'll absolutely fry your computer. Um, for whatever reason, all the graphics were extremely high and it was just insane. So trying to actually record and play Cube World was kind of crazy. I'm actually surprised that my computer still works because of how hard my computer actually has to work. The My fan, when I clicked just to start the game, would immediately kick up and just like go at 100%. It'd freak out and everything, and it was honestly crazy. Like I was actually scared. There were times where I was doing research and so much research to actually try and figure out what I have to do to be able to not have my computer fry because of the graphic settings at the beginning of the game because it was in alpha. So they did fix a lot of that stuff, which is great. It's still, very intensive on your computer, but I loved playing those games. I absolutely loved playing Cube World. There's a lot of stuff now that I just like, I didn't record, but I played a lot of it when I was on vacation and stuff like that. I just kind of like go and play it and whatnot. I really enjoyed that game. I'm very disappointed that the game didn't really go anywhere. Wally hasn't really made any updates. He's updated his own game, but he hasn't released any of the updates and stuff like that yet, at least to my knowledge. So it's kind of been disappointing because it's such a great game, but when you're just doing things over and over and over again, it kind of gets boring. And it's like he was adding quests and different things so that you had to go out and travel. And, there was kind of like a more of a purpose to the game. But he never like, I don't know if he actually um, released it yet. So, it sits on my computer. I kind of every time I see it, but hopefully one day it'll be updated and I'll be able to fall in love with the game again.
So, you've always been a Call of Duty guy.
Yep.
Um, what do you think about Halo?
Um, I will say that I have a lot of friends who actually like just love Halo. I used to play Halo years ago, like when I go over to friends' houses at the same time when This was like Halo 1 or Halo 2 when, when I didn't actually have Call of Duty. This was back years ago, years ago. Um, that like I actually, I'd play Halo and stuff like that, and we kind of go over to friends' houses and play it, and I enjoyed it. I was never good at it, so yeah, but I can't knock Halo. Again, it's like I played it, I enjoyed it, so
All right. Were you like? Were you
I was
ever like?
trash.
You were trash. You were trash that in. Okay, we can take that in. Um, were there any other games you used to play when you were young besides Call of Duty and Halo or
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and
Ratchet
Clank?
and Clank was a huge game for me. Huge game.
Hmm.
So, like I said, when I first got my PS2, it came with ATV Off-Road Fury 2 and Ratchet and Clank, the original. And so my parents actually they had to like check out Ratchet and Clank because again, we were really young. This was when the PS2s first came out.
Yeah, 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 I
So,
understand.
they're like, oh, it's a rated T game, so they're like, we're not sure. So my dad kind of like played like, a few minutes of it, and he's like, oh, it's just like you're a animal like trying to save the galaxy, and you're just fighting robots and
Fighting
stuff.
the
He's like, you know
world.
what? It's fine. Yeah, basically. She's like, you know what? It's fine. They could play it. And so yeah, so that's when the addiction of Ratchet and Clank started. Absolutely love that game. I have the right on my desk right here. I have Ratchet and Clank for the PS4. I went out and I pre-ordered it, bought it. I haven't played through the whole thing. I've been really busy, and on my time that I like the time that I do have, I'm usually playing Call of Duty, grinding for clips and whatnot.
Hmm.
So I don't have too much time to play it, but I have recorded about half of the game so far. And yes, I did record it, so I haven't released it yet. I'm a terrible human being. But I definitely will have videos on Ratchet and Clank in the future.
All right. On computer games, I know you played Minecraft and
Yep.
Cube World. Besides those two main games you used to play on the computer, was there any other games that you used to play on it? Any like RPGs or what about Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? Did you used to play that?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Um, I played Roller Coaster Tycoon at my neighbor's house actually,
Hmm.
but Zoo Tycoon was my thing. You know that glitch in Zoo Tycoon where you can get infinite money. Oh yeah, you start that at the beginning, you hold it down for like 30 minutes, you're set for life. I didn't do that all the time, but there were some parts where it's just like, I need money, so why not? Yeah, I love that game. Building stuff is, I love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Other games, I'm trying to think of some stuff. I know I was playing some Timber and Stone. I've recently been playing some Smite, Rocket League, Hearthstone, uh, Don't Starve, Crashlands, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's just like a few games that I would play a lot and whatnot. Civ 5 I played a ton of. I still play a decent amount with my friend. Sometimes when he gets bored and whatnot, we'll start like a lobby and we'll just play. And it's pretty fun. I enjoy it.
Hmm. Have you ever got into the big titles in computer games like Diablo or StarCraft or even World of Warcraft? I know you play Hearthstone, but like,
Yeah, I can't say that I do. I've never had a really good computer. I've always wanted one, and I got a laptop a few years ago. It's still the same one that I'm using right now. It's a 16 gig Toshiba, 16 gig of RAM, terabyte hard drive, like a quad core processor and stuff like that. So, and it's an Intel i7. So it was really good for the time because most computers you wouldn't have 16 gigs of RAM. Now it's I feel like it's almost a dinosaur. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, I understand. That's true. Like my dad, I think my dad has the exact same thing, and he doesn't play games on it, but he
Yeah.
just normally just watches videos or.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing for everything except really gaming. It doesn't have a graphics card. It's integrated graphics.
Hmm.
So that kind of kills it. But I mean, I have a MacBook to, right here that I use it for school, and my MacBook has 16 gigs of RAM. It has a 2 gig graphics card in it. That's literally the difference, and it runs games really smoothly. On my Toshiba, I probably get around 20, maybe 30 frames a second on Counter-Strike.
Oh
But when I
yeah.
play on my Mac, yeah, it's really bad, you know. I get 20 frames in Counter-Strike, like lowest settings, like come on, like it's a struggle out here. But yeah, the on my Mac, I get around like 120 frames. It's amazing. I honestly don't know why I don't play Counter-Strike on my Mac more often.
That's true. I heard Macs are not really good for computer games, but
It all depends.
yeah, it depends if you actually get a good one.
Yeah, and like if it supports the game or not.
What made you get like? I know in school you do a lot of graphics and designs and
It's
stuff
my
on the computer.
major.
Okay.
What was that? You're like shots fired right there.
Yeah, it's not a major. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Blooper. All right. Well, in school you take graphics and designs. What made you want to take that? Was it because of like seeing montages on like YouTube, or was it just something you wanted to do in your future?
It was a combination of a lot of things. So it was actually kind of funny because I was talking to my friend yesterday. I was driving home with him from a friend's house, and we were kind of just talking about stuff and how like we actually got here. So it's kind of interesting that you asked that question. But yeah, so I first started looking into graphic design when I started doing all the Minecraft videos and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
because of like thumbnails and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted graphics and stuff like that that kind of looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to pay for them, and I didn't really want to use a template because everybody uses templates, and they're not really personalized because everybody's using them.
Mm-hmm.
So I really started looking into like Photoshop and kind of stuff like that, which yeah, I wasn't that good at, but hey, you have to start somewhere. So I really started looking into all of that stuff, basically for thumbnails. And then when I started playing more Call of Duty and whatnot, I started getting more into hitting clips because in Black Ops 2, like, and I have 1,000 hours on that game. So I really started, getting good at Call of Duty and hitting clips and hitting really good clips when when Black Ops 2 was in its prime, when the new Call of Duty was just about to come out. I really wanted to make a montage, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those things where I just felt like good clips. They're terrible clips, by the way, but I felt like I had good clips, and so I wanted to edit a montage. So I started looking into After Effects and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I never made that montage, I tried my best to make it. It's just, I ran out of the free trial. That's really what happened. But
The struggles of life, you know.
yeah, I ran out of the free trials on like two computers
Oh yeah.
because they track it by computer. So I used my dad's computer for a while, and I couldn't get it done. So I tried, but that's when I really started trying to do After Effects and stuff like that, and I loved it. I love doing that stuff. I love going to movies and watching all the and like the graphics and kind of like stuff like that and the special effects, and just I would love to see how they're done, how they're made, and all that stuff. That's something that I just love. So for me, like all that kind of started, poking at the bear of like yeah, hey, I want to do this. So then after that, I started taking graphic design classes and stuff like that in high school, started learning more stuff. Basically, by the end of the month, started teaching the class because my teacher just, I don't want to go there, but she'd always ask me questions and she'd basically ask me, "Hey, what should I teach them? Or do you think there's anything else that's important?" And it's like, you know, I just started doing this stuff. You have a doctorate, I feel like this is not my cup of tea. I don't know anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I got through that class and that's really when I was like, okay, this is stuff that I want to do. And now I'm here,
All right,
chilling.
that's good. I know in the Reezy channel you did that Teen Taj for us. I think it was the second one,
Yep.
or was it the first ever one we've ever did?
I believe it was the first one.
All right, the first one. I know you weren't really like super skilled into making like Teen
Yeah.
Tajas. I found that Teen Taj to be like really really good, despite like you having some skill
Yeah.
into that kind of thing. I
There
know.
was a lot of things that I didn't know.
Hmm.
Um, editing clip wise, recording cinematic wise. There's just a lot of stuff that I didn't know
Hmm.
um, that could have easily helped make it better.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I can't hate on it. Again, I was just starting out and stuff like that. So I think, from a starting standpoint, that was decent.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And like, well, it was
Thanks,
my
dude.
first ever time being in a Teen Taj, right? So like
Yeah.
seeing my name pop up kind of made me like
Uh-huh.
jitter like a
It's
schoolgirl.
like, oh man, that's me. You
Oh,
see that? Hey guys, that's me. Check me out.
it's me, and I was like, it's me. I was just like just freaking like
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
as a schoolgirl.
yeah.
Um, how is it for you editing? Is it difficult? Is it just easy
Um,
for you? Like, what is it?
Editing's one of those things that I struggle with even today. Um, it's just there's something about it where I'm just not confident in myself. I should be because I'm actually in an editing a digital wow, okay, English. A video editing class right now, and the stuff that I'm doing, like my teachers are like, yeah, this is like really good stuff and whatnot. And I have some friends who are like, dude, this is like professional work.
Hmm.
So I'm very good at editing video, and I love that stuff.
Hmm.
But when I get into After Effects and I try to start editing montages and stuff like that, I envision everything in my head. Like it sounds weird, but like when I hear a song, like I watch all the clips and whatnot, and then I listen to songs constantly. I'm listening to all different songs, and eventually I will find a song that clicks in my head to where I'm literally watching the video in my own head. And I
Hmm.
know some people are gonna be like, that man needs like to be restrained
He
and
needs
whatnot.
therapy.
Yeah, he needs therapy, but maybe one of those the strafe jackets and a mental institution. But no, but yeah, so I don't know, like I envision everything, and there are just times where I can't get it to where I want it to be, where like I see something and I just can't get it to where I'm at, or things just don't flow right. And I think that's the problem is I feel like I'm very good at editing videos, but then there are some effects or whatever that I can't do, or I don't know how to do or whatnot that, it really takes away and I just feel like I'm just like, okay, well this doesn't work, then I feel like everything's just off. Um and again, there are just points where I just don't feel like I'm good enough to be able to edit different videos.
Hmm.
But at the same time, like I know a lot of stuff. I know how to do everything. It's just getting past that mindset and that like creativity block and just kind of like that roadblock because it's one of those things where you just gotta go for it. You gotta try it. Editing isn't where you're just gonna poof all of a sudden you just know everything. It's a trial and error. So editing one video or whatever, like just get it out there. Just work on it, get it out there, work on the next, because I promise you the stuff that you did in the first video is going to teach you the second one. The
Mhm.
second's going to teach the third's going to teach the fourth, and so on until you are a champion status at editing videos to where you just have a vision in your head and you immediately know how to do it.
Now, I don't know if you own an iPhone or a Samsung, but
I own neither. I own a Droid Turbo.
all right, you're in the big leagues. But how do you feel about the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus? I don't know the difference between them, but
Yeah,
how do you feel about what they did with it?
I love it. Uh, So I'm gonna take a little tangent off of that question, but it's gonna relate to the question.
All right.
So when I loved Apple,
Mhm.
um, and so when the first iPhone was announced, like I thought that was amazing, and I really wanted it, but I have Verizon, and they only had it on AT&T at the time. Now Verizon was rumored to have this stuff, or to be able to have iPhones soon, but I was getting a new phone, and we didn't really know the date and whatnot. But so I just decided to get another just Droid. And now about a month later, the iPhones came to Verizon, which I was kind of like really like I'm disappointed about. But at that point, I didn't really care because I had a new phone. Now, um, I kept getting droids, and I kept getting just other versions of droids and whatnot, and I really enjoyed them. I liked them for their features and whatnot. And I kind of just, thought that Apple wasn't like their iPhones were just not that great.
Mhm.
I know I'm gonna be roasted again. This is probably like the fifth time I'm, gonna be killed and burned at the stake for saying something in this video. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of Apple. I just thought their stuff was overrated and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then the iPhone 7 comes out, and I was like, it's just another iPhone. I don't really care. But I'm gonna be getting a phone upgrade soon. My 2-year contract's almost up. I believe it's up at the end of the year. So I'm thinking into new phones, and the only reason why I have the phone I have now is because of the camera. I love film and stuff like that. So being able to take pictures, videos, all that stuff, like, wow, what the heck was that? Hold on.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
I inhaled
You're
oxygen,
like,
and that happened. That was beautiful. So so the only reason why I have it now is because of the camera. And it's a Droid Turbo. It's supposed to be like an amazing camera. It's like a 21 megapixel camera on a phone. So yeah, that's supposed to be amazing. Could shoot 4K video. The stuff that they don't tell you is that it's a terrible camera. Um, there's just a lot of stuff to where it doesn't focus right. A lot of stuff is blurry,
mm,
and just overall, I'm not really happy with it. So I've been relatively looking into new phones and new cameras and stuff like that they have. The Samsung is supposed to have the best camera, so I was really, going to get a Samsung. And then the little thing called the iPhone 7 comes out. And I never really watched the press release and stuff like that. One day, I'm just sitting, and usually I watch YouTube videos when I'm working on schoolwork and projects and whatnot.
mhm,
So, I go on there, and one of the recommended things is a 2-hour long Apple reveal of just like all the new stuff,
mhm,
for their press release. And I was like, you know what? I'll watch it. I'll kind of see what everything's about.
mhm.
I that was They had amazing stuff. They had really really cool stuff there.
Oh yeah, I know. I
Um,
saw it.
the iPhone is amazing, and most people are going to say, "Oh, it's the exact same thing and whatnot." It's not that the phone is the same. It's for me, it's the camera. There are so many new features, and just how good the camera is, it's ridiculous.
Mhm,
And I'm not, the iPhone 7 does have a good camera,
mhm.
but the one I'm really talking about is the iPhone 7 Plus. That's probably going to be my next phone, is the iPhone 7 Plus. Reason being is that it has two It has two cameras. I think it's 12 megapixel cameras. I believe
Yeah,
that's the
I
right number.
believe, yeah, it
Um,
was at that.
One of them is like a legit, like regular camera. The other one is more of like a special camera.
Hmm.
So you're able to zoom in a lot better because it has a second camera. And you're able to do the bokeh effect, which is like how it could focus on, DSLR cameras, how they can focus on the foreground, everything's really sharp,
Hmm.
but the background's really blurry. They can do that effect on a phone camera. Like you cannot do that on a normal camera. You could do that on you could do that on DSLR cameras. You can't do that on normal phone cameras. That's the first phone camera I believe that can do that, and I love that effect. But the quality of being able to take pictures, you can shoot in camera raw, or not camera raw, sorry, raw. Camera raw is Photoshop. You can shoot in raw, which is the highest quality for pictures, and that's usually the stuff that you want to shoot in for professional photographers. So to be able to shoot in raw on your phone with an amazing two lens camera and just all this other stuff, and be able to run Lightroom and Adobe products, like Lightroom has 90% of the desktop version on the iPhone. That's insane. So like all of this stuff just combined is just like this is probably going to be my next phone. I think that this stuff is amazing.
I've been, I didn't check like the whole 2 hours of the release for it, but a lot of my friends are really into the iPhone, and they think
Yeah.
that like every iPhone has a new upgrade and stuff, so they always like
Yeah.
update me on it. But I heard about the camera. Another thing, you listen to music. Obviously, you listen to music. Everyone
Oh,
does.
dude, I
Everyone
am
does.
always listening to music. I'm listening to music like during class.
Hmm.
Um, they don't care if you have, I mean, we're a technology school, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
So
Like, why wouldn't
everybody has MacBooks and, they don't care if you have headphones in or whatever.
you? Hmm.
So, I just sit there and listening to music, whatnot. I'm always listening to music, working on projects, everything, always listening to music. It's ridiculous.
All right. But my question is, how do you feel about how they disable or like they took out the
Yes.
auxiliary on the iPhone?
Hmm.
There's a lot of rumors, or not rumors, or like reviews going around about hate, likes. Um, I'm more into the like part of it, but how do you feel
Yeah.
about how they're doing that?
I think it's a step in a direction.
Hmm.
You know, we've had the auxiliary cord for forever. We've been using it for years and years and years. So to be able to have the Thunderbolt, or not the Thunder, wait, is it the Thunderbolt? No, it's the Lightning cable.
Yeah, the
So to
lightning
have the
cable.
Lightning cables be able to, have better sounding audio and stuff like that, I think
Hmm.
it's great. I mean, I think it's better sounding audio, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah. No?
the lightning cable. No,
Lightning cable? Doesn't it sound better? I'm gonna have to Google this.
I don't know if the
Um,
lightning cable, but I know that it comes with something that you're able to connect with, and it does that. I don't know if it actually like amplifies your audio to be better, but you could check that out. But it, I agree with you. It's like a new step direction into like the future kind of thing, how they're doing it. But you know, people are like not liking it because how they don't have the auxiliary cord. Like, what about if they lose that little box thing? Blah blah. It's just mixed reviews on
well,
it.
okay.
I like it, to be honest.
Okay.
I like it
We
hate.
have, yeah, I mean, I like it. So technology keeps moving forward. Like they said this in the press release, like, everybody wants so much stuff to, have their phone do, and
Mhm.
everybody wants a better and better and better phone, but we're taking up a decent amount of space to be able to use an aux cord.
Mhm.
So why take up that space when you could use the same port for so many different things?
Oh yeah.
So, to be able to have your lightning cable go to your earbuds, and even at the same time, in the box, it comes with a lightning to auxiliary cord.
Yeah yeah.
So if you want to use your old headphones, if you want to use other stuff, you're easily able to do that with the cord. The only problem is that you can't charge your phone while you're listening to music because of that feature where you have to um, you only have one lightning space.
Mm.
So you can only do one thing. So it's like either you listen to music or, you know, you charge your phone. But let's be honest, most of the time you are not doing both. Tell me the last time you're listening to music on your phone and charging it.
I've
Most
never,
of the
no, I've
time,
actually never done that
yeah,
in my life.
most of the time you probably aren't. And if you are, I'm pretty sure they're either going to make an adapter or something like that to where you can charge your phone and play and have something else. Like it'll probably be like a splitter or something like that.
Hmm. I agree. The I love and hate it. Reason I hate it is because what about if you lose that certain thing and you have to buy another one and it's like $20 kind of thing, right? But
Yeah,
whoever loses it nowadays, right? I know people
a
lose
lot of
headphones.
people.
I know a lot. I know a lot of people, but you don't forget it as much. But the wireless headphones, I love. It's a
Yeah,
great
the
idea.
Apple Pods are ridiculous, and I was just reading up on this. Um, it says that the Lightning port is superior to a 3.5 millimeter jack due to how it carries audio signals. So yeah, it actually will be like better, which is awesome.
That's way
But
awesome.
talking about the AirPods. So the AirPods are amazing. I think they're so cool. The only problem is I am not exactly willing to spend $170 to buy a pair. And
Is that
it's
how
just
much they
like,
are?
yeah, they're $170, 160,
Like, do they
$170.
come with the phone or
No,
they don't?
they come with the normal, they come So in the box of a iPhone 7, you
Mm.
get the Lightning to earbuds.
Mm-hmm.
You do not get the AirPods, I believe. So the AirPods are a totally different thing.
They're $170 for the
Yeah, they're
AirPods.
159. I just looked this up. Another Google.
159?
$159. Now the problem is that yes, like they're extremely easy to connect. You literally bring them to your phone and it says connect and you click it. Which is cool. Like that's great. The only problem with it is, how durable are they, and then will they last in your ear? Like, and okay, the phrasing on that's really weird. Um, will they hold in your will you be able to have them in your ear while you're moving around and whatnot?
I better get a
Because
2-year warranty on them.
right?
Like
Because I feel like they would either fall out or,
you would lose
let's say
them.
you're running or something like that. Like I just feel like, they'd be able to just fall out of your ear.
Yeah.
Now, again, I've never, I don't own one and they're not out yet, so we don't know that stuff. But that's one thing that I'm concerned about is that it is like, you could lose them easily. Like that's the thing that I'm like, I don't know about that. So it'll be interesting to see when they actually do come out, if people like them or not. I mean, they sound amazing. Um, just having wireless earbuds and all the functionality and stuff like that that they put into it is really cool. But again, the only problem is, will they stay in your ear? And, how good are they?
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying and stuff. But I'm kind of wondering, $159, like, that's a little bit too much for these wireless headphones. I could go to Walmart and buy another wireless headphones that are literally $50, $40. And they could probably be the exact same as that, but obviously
Mhm.
the AirPods are gonna be oh, they're waterproof, blah blah, this and that. Like I feel like they just put the price on it way too high than they actually expect it to be.
Yeah.
159, at least make it to 60 or something. Like normal Beats kind of thing. Like do you know the Beats just the little small B headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at least like 70, 80, because that's how much they are, right?
Yeah.
You got to think of it this way. I feel like they want money. They're like they just want your money kind of thing, right? Now I can go. There's people nowadays that are stupid that would be like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy them," right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see how they do things, and
I mean, it'll just be interesting to see how good they are.
mhm,
Because again, like, beats are really expensive and everybody loves them.
mhm,
So, if they're at that level, then yeah, they might be worth it. Now, I will say Beats are coming out with wireless Beats that use that Apple technology in the Beats. So those will be interesting to see how good those are. Because if the apples are really good, then the beets should be even better. And not only how good are they, but how much will they cost?
mhm. Yeah, I agree with you. Like just seeing this, it's like one step ahead in the future kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
What are we gonna expect more? Like just for say like a wireless PS4 that you could just easily connect to the wall or something. I don't know, something stupid,
I
but
mean,
it's the future, right? Anything can
yeah,
happen tomorrow or in a month
yeah.
from now, right? But I think that's all the time we have for today. Um, it was really good interviewing you, Magic. It's been a while since we've talked. I know you've been really busy now in your days.
I have.
Yes. But it was really good interviewing you. I'm glad that I had you on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Props, but I can't really give you props. But it's been your host, Falling Blame. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I hope you enjoyed me talking to Magic. Obviously, I hope you guys hit that like button, comment, and
Subscribe.
subscribe. Hey,
Oh.
oh, the dynamic duo. I'm not gonna do that again. All right,
Yeah, you probably should.
it's been your boy Blame. Peace out.